Hey guys, welcome to the Solution Architect channel. In this video we're going to talk about security in AWS as well as security on Azure. So I just wanted to highlight the different types of security that you get. Now it's important for a developer and especially for an architect to consider security when setting up an application on one of these platforms. So I just want to quickly run through some of the things within AWS and then I'm going to go to Azure. I couldn't do a side-by-side comparison exactly because the way that Amazon AWS considers security and the way Azure is just structured totally different, the way they actually take care of security. So I'm just going to touch base on both of them. This is not to put down one platform to the other one. I'm going to be honest at the end of this video to tell you my view on the different types of security on the different platforms. So let's jump into this. So on your left hand side here on AWS Management Console, they have a whole list of security, identity and compliance services. Whereas on the right hand side where you can see on Azure, they have split it into two. They've got identity and then they've got security. I'm not going to talk about virtual cloud networks and virtual networks on this one or virtual private networks on AWS. I'll do that in a separate video because there is so much to talk about when it comes to network security. This is more about identity, user management, groups, roles, policies and things like that. You can see on the left here, they've got identity access management, where they've got the different types of, you can set up your groups here. You can set up your users. So you can create a new user. You can connect roles. You can add roles to that users. You've got your policies here, where you can set up different policies to allow permissions to certain services within AWS. We've got identity providers here, where if you create a provider, you can actually create something like SAML provider or OpenID Connect. Just go back there. You've also got your account settings and a few other settings you can set up for your identity and access management. If we go back to the services that's available here, you have your AWS Resource Access Manager, which is where you have multiple accounts with your company and where you can actually share resources between the different accounts. And then you've got Kognito. Kognito is just a place where you can have user pools and identity. For example, a user pool is something if you want to create a sign up or a sign in option for your web application or for your mobile application. Then we've got Secret Manager here. It protects access to applications and APIs or your database using OAuth access and so on. And then you've got Guard Duty. This is a threat detection that monitors suspicious activities on your AWS environments. You've got Inspector here. This is to analyze the behavior of your AWS resources and helps you identify potential security issues. You've got Amazon Macy. I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly or pronounced it correctly, but this is a data security and a data privacy service that uses a machine learning capability to help you identify and protect any sensitive data. You've got single sign-on, and this is exactly what it says. Single sign-on provides and connects to your corporate Active Directory to allow users to have a single sign-on ability to your applications that's running on AWS. You've got a certificate manager here that is a provision that provisions your certificates for you, where you can manage and deploy your certificates as well. This is your SSL and TLS certificates. And then we've got key management services here. This is a managed service that makes it easy for you to create and manage keys, and then where you can also control any encryption across your enterprise within the AWS services. They also have a service here called HSM, but it provides a cloud-based hardware security module for generating and using your own encryption keys in the AWS cloud. And they've got directory service, which is actually a actual Microsoft Active Directory service running on AWS. Then they've got WAF and Shield and Firewall Manager, where you can actually create your firewall rules to protect application from inbound traffic. The WAF, for example, is for Web Application Firewall Service that lets you monitor any web request to your API gateway. Then you've got Artifact here. Artifact is for compliance reporting, so you can get reports for access, your compliance reports for third-party auditors and things like that. Then you have Security Hub. This is where you can actually manage your security and compliance, and it will provide you like a consolidated view of your security status on AWS. Then the last one here that they've got is Detective, and this is a service that will investigate or analyze identity for any root causes for potential security issues or any suspicious activity on your AWS services. So what I like about AWS, they've got everything, all the services under one heading here. So it's easy to navigate. They've also got if you go down here, your network setup and content delivery, like your VPCs and all of that in a separate heading here. So it's just easier to navigate when it comes to security and things like that. So if you look at your right-hand side now, let's look at Azure. They have identity and they have security. Now, most of the things under security, I would actually put like under network security. For example, your virtual networks, gateways and things like that inside here is to control your network access. But I want to talk about identity access in this video. I will talk about network access in the next video. So when it comes to security on Azure, they use Azure Active Directory. This is where you can manage your users, set up user groups. If I can go inside there, I can show you quickly all the access here. So you've got, so the navigation of Azure is a little bit different, different view of all your security. What you see on your main services, you can also see it on some of the access here is also underneath the default directory overview of your Active Directory. So inside here, you can set up your users, your groups, external identities, your roles and administrators. You have this is a preview service, administrative units. I haven't used that before. Enterprise applications. So let me go through the main service list that they've got under your heading identity. So Azure AD B2C is for business to consumer, to allow you access to many types of users to your application. So you can have millions of users out there that actually you can allow to your application. You've got domain services. It controls the company's domains. For example, you can connect a virtual machine to a specific domain using the service. Then you've got information protection. This is where you configure policies to protect your data from any threats. And then you have groups inside here where you can create, again, a second place where you can actually go into your Active Directory groups as well as your users. And I hate this thing popping up the whole time, so I can't show you. So I'm just going to leave my mouse down here. Then the next one on the list there is AD Connect Health. And this is where you have a service to diagnose and remediate any duplicated attribute synchronous errors inside your services. Then you've got enterprise applications. This is where you can connect enterprise platforms such as Azure DevOps, for example, that you can connect to your Azure applications for deployment. You've got app registrations inside there. This is where you can configure applications to allow Active Directory, to allow sign-in to your Active Directory from your applications. Then you've got identity governance down there. You've got, this is where you can protect and monitor any and audit access into your application services on Azure. You've got their conditional access. The conditional access and policies basically is to set up policy rules. For example, create a policy for your bring your own devices and things like that. Then you have manage identity. Identities. This is where it can be an identity to authenticate to any service basically that supports Azure Active Directory authentication, including a key vault. And then you've got your privilege identity management, and inside privilege identity management, it manages the lifecycle of your roles that you assign and enforce a just-in-time access policy, and it also discovers who has what roles within your Active Directory. And then you've got a security. This is just another access to security, just another view of Active Directory security. You can identify the identity protection, and you can also view your security center inside there. And then the last one in there is identity protection. This is an IT admin solution to prevent and detect and remediate identity risks in your organization. Now, if we go to security here, there is so much more that you can see inside here. What I don't like is that they mixed up the network security with your identity management. This is just my view. Believe me, I am an Azure fan. But when it comes to security, I think they've got everything that you need to be able to secure your services. But it's not out of the box so much easy to navigate within Azure than it is with AWS. But you've got your different types of security you can go in here. But like I said earlier, if you go to identity and you go to Active Directory, then you've got all those links here as well. And you've got your monitor services and all like that will be able to monitor your security for you. So Azure's got everything that you need to be able to secure your applications and your services, the same as what AWS has got. So my conclusion is just the navigation. AWS here is a little bit easier to navigate when it comes to security, but both these platforms have all the types of security to be able to secure your applications. So thank you very much for watching. Please come back next time. I'm going to put a video together for network management and your VPCs, for example, your virtual networks, and how you actually set up your virtual network for you within the two platforms. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and thank you very much for all my loyal subscribers. See you next time.